Hello, this is Jim Schaefer, Executive Producer and host of Riprap, the academic book television program. My guest today is Juan Cole. We'll be discussing his latest book, Engaging the Muslim World. Welcome to Riprap, Juan.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
This is a real pleasure to have you on the program for a second time because your careful and thorough informed scholarship in the Middle East, known widely for its depth and breadth, has served for me and many scholars as a kind of tonic or antidote from the more simplistic notions that have muddied the waters in understanding the dynamics of what has been and is taking place in the volatile region of the world. As you point out in this book, Engaging the Muslim World, that very misinformation has evoked what you call Islam anxiety at a point where you claim the Muslim world and the West are at a standoff. Perhaps you explain what you mean and why.
Well, it's from both sides, really, but there's been opinion polling in the United States that alarms me in the amount of bigotry that it is displaying. Over 2/3 of Americans openly admit that they're prejudiced against Muslims, and over 50% say they don't trust American Muslims to be loyal to their country. A quarter of Americans say they don't want to live next to a Muslim. I mean, these are attitudes that we had hoped to leave behind with regard to ethnic groups in the United States with the civil rights movement 40 years ago. It's horrible that there's been a recrudescence of this kind of open bigotry, really towards an ethnic group. It's a religious group, but it's also, I think, in American terms, ethnic. On the other side, you get all kinds of conspiracy theories about the United States in the Muslim world, in the Middle East. Large numbers of Muslims say they're convinced the United States wants to convert them to Christianity, wipe out Islam, or divide and rule. Pakistanis are worried. They are more worried about the United States and its deleterious impact on Pakistan than they are about India, their traditional enemy. So the opinion polling is actually quite alarming and disturbing, and it's one of the reasons that I wrote the book.
When the whole concept of misinformation really gets in the way of engaging what you talk about as a true dialogue. And the misinformation is just incredible, what each side thinks the other is doing and why, and the implications of it.
Yes, there are mistaken conceptions, and then I think there's deliberate distortions, again, on all sides. So I think, you have some evangelical preachers maintaining that the Quran instructs Muslims to kill non-Muslims. In fact, murder is forbidden in the Quran, as it is in all holy books, and a place is made in Muslim societies for non-Muslims to have their property and their lives respected. One can argue about the politics of those arrangements, but the idea that the Quran is somehow, a homicide instruction manual, which is what some elements in the American right are purveying, simply, just false. It's untrue, and likewise, not true that the United States government is interested in converting the Muslims to another religion. I mean, these things are being said to scare people.